Who cares about N, suffered through hell, didn't want to lose M, but killed hundreds of people just to delay his inevitable ruin? After all, if he didn't think about the children, the innocent, the city life, well, why should I? Who cares about Jin, who was forsaken by the world, lost his love Laura for basically nothing? People experience loss all the time, but they don't lash out in anger, trying to destroy the world as payback. While it is sad, Laura's death is unfortunate. Why should I feel sympathy for Jin, let alone love, for someone who stabbed me in the back and tried to take Pyre away from me? He didn't have the right to do that. Who cares about Mumkhar, who was an asshole through and through, left Dixon and Dumbman to die out there, and killed Fiora, the only person Shulk ever loved? See, the point is I can't empathize with these people. The Logos, they are the downtrodden and forsaken for a reason, right? No one said this would be easy. Pneuma's love is hard to embody unconditionally in a world that actively denies its existence. It is hard to be a light, a beacon of hope in pitch black darkness, knowing how this is your only ammunition against the void of despair.
If you don't know, then let me teach you. I'll drag you with me. Deep into the void, to the depths of despair!
This world is cruel, to say the least. No doubt about that, and Amalthus was holding the baby. For this reason, looking at him, crying inside, shocked even, as he was complicit in this crime, enabled it indirectly, thinking he was doing good in the world, healing this random soldier's wounds, only for it all to end in despair. Questioning afterwards how this is the world that the divine architect intended. And guess what? He had a point, as even humanity's last-ditch efforts, Moebius, represented that face of the world. Power, arrogance, superiority, selfishness. Ionios was hell, and Moebius were its demons. Death and pain everywhere, all for their selfish gain and amusement. A world where nobody has to die doesn't exist, unlike what Nael hopes for. You can't make it come true.
Makes no sense.
Nael.
Haven't we done enough? We could have just kept to ourselves, but we're still doing this, and now Kyra's dead. Go away. With or without Moebius, nothing will change. In the end, people always kill people.
Those soldiers were still part of the cycle. I bet they were controlled.
Doubt it. No red irises. Savages. They killed Kyra just to add on a measly few extra days.
Come on. That's worst case.
Matthew, always in fantasy land.
What?
You can't keep every bloody person happy. How can you not understand it's impossible?
The only true end is the moment you give up. Isn't that what Grandad taught us?
Then show me already! This world of peace where nobody has to die. Make it come true. You think you could do that, do you? You think you've got what it takes? Well, I don't. I'm barely holding on. You hear me?
The fact of the matter is that bad people, cruel people exist and will continue to exist. In Origin's New World, Zet was just the beginning after all. The Moebius that the Ionius represented is just a facsimile of what was to come, as there is Moebius inside each and every one of us. Some of us have a little bit more than others, and these bad people have some sort of conviction, a reason we can all easily empathize with, like N or Jin. But sometimes they don't, like Mumkhar or Dirk. The true capacity to love rests on your ability to love that unsavory aspect of reality still. That darkness, however repulsive or insane it may look on the surface. Remember that there's always a reason in the rhyme to even the insanity. All you have to know is that you can't lead people lost in the darkness if you are blind yourself. You need to always hold on to your conscience throughout, even if revenge might appear justified, despite your pain telling you otherwise. You need to love even the irredeemable.
We now know the importance of true choice. How do you live without hope? Just how could you possibly think like that? You want that as your legacy? You're really okay with that? That you can't just look at one aspect of the whole. Such a basic fact. So why haven't we realized it before? Wait, please! I will take her back. My Mio will be mine, and all who stand in my way, I shall destroy! If it wasn't for you, my Mio would still be with me. How dare you speak! I won't let you undo it. Nor us, nor Moebius. I cannot lose to you. I cannot! There is no room for hope in this world. Only despair! All is in deepest void. What difference do you think you'll make? What can you save What purpose does your existence serve? I will give you a taste of the despair I felt, of the deepest void.
Love is something we constantly pay lip service to. The Ouroboros stands for it after all. Pneuma wants everyone to live in a world where they have the will to choose, that they have options, that everyone is taken care of and valued, respected, and loved. We should love our families, despite their shortcomings. We should say how much we love our girlfriend 5 times a day. We should make friends, as N said to Gondor, keep them close. Always. But this colloquial definition of love may not be good enough. In the grand scheme of things, after all, it is easier to love your friends, your family, compared to complete strangers walking on the street, let alone assholes, compared to people we don't relate to as much, people who have different worldviews, personalities, and goals. At the end of the day, we all lead busy lives. If we were to care about every stranger or any and everyone, we wouldn't have energy left to ourselves and people who are actually close to us. In fact, if you look at life, you see that it is not fair. At least not intrinsically. Which country you were born to, your family, the economical climate of your times. These are all outside of your control. A lot of things are actually. There is a system that runs in the background, like a machine, and you're just one of the cogs in it. Not particularly special, at least not in the eyes of the powerful.
You look unwell. Like me. When you had us locked up. Got my just desserts. Well, don't you look smug with my woman on your arm. Noah.
Get out of my way, Shulk!
It's Mumkhar! He's not a Mechon!
Have you forgotten everything he's done? Where is your killer instinct? Now is the time!
I hate him, Dumban! For what he did to Fiora and the Emperor! So of course I want to get my revenge!
Shulk.
But... Face Mechon are not like the others. They're people! Like us! Are you really willing to kill another Homs?
Yes, sometimes needs must.
Even if it's Fiora? What then? When we set out, I wanted to destroy all Mechon. That was my aim. But now, I know that there are people inside. I have to know why. What's the reason for all of this? Why do Bionis and Mechonis have to keep on fighting? I have to find out why!
Laura, I failed you. Is this all I am?
How do you live without hope? All of our fighting. We struggle on and on. But at the end of the day, it never ends.
You will never meet the architect! You die here! I will do the architect's bidding! Are you too blinded by falsehoods?
I'm not done here. If I don't do it, no one will.
Is this all I am?
Friedrich Nietzsche talks about the last man as the archetypal passive nihilist, the anti-Ubermensch, if you will. He is tired of life, takes no risks, and seeks only comfort and security. Stagnant, just like Moebius. Instead of empathizing with others to understand them on a deeper level, they want to live for themselves, sipping their fine wine, always keeping everyone else at an arm's distance. After all, as the administrators of the system, they make the rules, and you have to follow them, whether that is being unable to choose as a soldier, 10-year lifespan, or an unending war between two factions. They all serve the few at the top at the expense of everyone else.
これ以上お前らの英雄ごっこに付き合ってられないんだよ。
よく喋るな豚野郎。扉を埋め固めてる間、巨人が待ってくれる保証がどこにある。てめえらの言う我々ってのは、てめえらが超えるために守ってる友達の話だろ。土地が足りずに食うに困っている人間は、てめえら豚どもの視界に入らねえと。
我々は扉さえ封鎖されれば助かると話している。
The we you speak of are only those you wish to protect, your friends who help line your pockets. Make no mistake, however much you want to deny it, the world doesn't just vanish because you close your eyes. These people in positions of power exist and influence your life as we speak. Whether that is through advertisements, education, work, or entertainment, you are led to believe in certain things. How you should live your life, what you should value, and the things you should be striving as goals. It is all so because it is desirable by the system, which may or may not be desirable for you as an individual. As Takahashi-san said, I wanted to change a bit how the villains were portrayed. For example, in Xenoblade 1 and 2, the villains had their own pride or their own principles. It could be a philosophy or even faith. The villains had their own sense of justice, but for Xenoblade 3, I said, what if I brought the enemies closer to reality? Let's say, for example, that those in positions of power, saying people in positions of power are villains is, well, a bit of a dangerous way to put it. But in real life, they are the system, as Zed says. They can decide on a system, and they can run it. Even for those people in positions of power, I'm sure they have a life story, social ties and such. But what can we see at the surface, what we can feel is their roots? Most of that is, how should I say, a desire for control, money, fame, and maybe very rarely lust. That is where it tends to be rooted in, and occasionally some unsavory people show themselves. What if those people were the villains? The villains this time around are the Moebius, and for them, I wanted to make them villains you cannot sympathize with by exaggerating the unsavoriness and patheticness that real-life humans have. Towards the end of the story, there's a scene where Zed says, "It's because it amuses me." But that line, it could be, "It's because 3-star restaurants taste delectable," or "It's because I love to make money." The line can be whatever. We placed the Moebius in that position as a representation of that unsavory aspect of reality.
You're tough. No joke.
Eh?
We heard from uni that you're just like us.
Oh, that part.
I've been plodding along, playing it all cool, but when we saw him again, I thought, nah, snuff all of this.
I'm scared too, just so you know. Since Monica told us the whole truth, I've hoped... No. I'm sure I'll see Miyabi again. I'm so sure of it.
Hard, wasn't it? Hearing that.
Yeah. But it sure beats ignorance.
That's what Noah thinks too. You're hard as nails.
What we don't know might as well not exist. It's an obvious way to think, but it isn't right. Closing my eyes doesn't mean evil disappears.
And so, you go on?
Yeah, I'll keep going, while my flame still flickers to the bitter end, with all of you.
You said it.
As observed in the renowned painter Pablo Picasso's life, there are two periods in which we can observe the full spectrum of the Logos ideology, starting with the blue and ending in red. The period of blue represents depression, the despair in complete powerlessness, whether that is accomplishing a goal or spending time with your loved ones. The reality of impermanence and dissatisfactoriness, as Buddhism likes to say, hits like a truck. As happiness is as fleeting as the wind, and when you look at the world, you are more likely to see pain and the void of despair sucking you in more and more as you struggle. Whatever rules are exercised by the administrators, you're trying to carve a path the best you can. Crawl under the mud until someday you can't. you give into despair. Questioning everything you've ever known in complete meaninglessness. Why should you even make the effort when the deck is intentionally stacked against you? The period of red comes after blue, with the delusion of amusement under a veneer of power. At least, relatively, you feel stronger. You appear to transcend over mere mortals, no longer concerned with petty desires or pain. You direct your attention on things like gluttony and pleasure. Now you have the financial means to accomplish your goals more easily, but more often than not you choose not to. As being active in the world and striving for goals are beneath you, too much work, not worth the hassle. The comfort and the sense of security that you spent a lot of time solidifying would be compromised. Everything worth doing in life comes with an upfront investment, whether that is mental effort, energy, or time. You need to be prepared to get your hands dirty at least for a little while to make progress, to get some traction going. And people who are at the period of red in Logos rejects this lifestyle and worldview and prefers to have a selfish life of their own making. In some ways, the red is even more trapped than blue ever was. They lost all hope for betterment, all hope for this world. The red is the rock bottom of the Logos ideology, the last men, as Nietzsche says.
There shouldn't be any life in those bodies, but the moats still rose.
Sometimes I wonder who's weak and who's strong.
I can't help but wonder, would I have been able to save you?
About what I can achieve. What I'll leave behind.
Wait, please!
All of our fighting. We struggle on and on. But at the end of the day, it never ends.
As long as we live, all we can do is fight on. That's not going to change.
You saying there's no escape?
Depends how you look at it.
I'll keep going while my flame still flickers to the bitter end with all of you.
Brush off the embers that fall on your coat, right? If what happened hadn't...
This lifetime that Miyabi gave to me.
I know why you were smiling back then. I get what you meant now. But we need answers. Her 10 years is a mere glimpse. We now know the importance of true choice. How do you live without hope?
To end this. He's toyed with our lives as he pleases for long enough. Zed ordered N to kill the city's people. From that moment, M's words were my words.
Then to rip this world apart?
Even if I might not get to do it, you'll lead the way to a new world. A new way of life. We became Ubermensch by pure chance. It should have been me, the city back then. It was much more prosperous than now.
That was the real you!
Everyone wants a reality that they can believe in! I should have died out there that day. I did try my best. I couldn't afford to fail.
Got my just desserts? Well, don't you look smug with my woman on your arm, Noah.
What do you mean when you first met? If that's what you think, then I'd like you to come with us.
I've only met him in the memories that M showed me, though.
You're a kind man, aren't you? I'm so sorry.
such kindness. Your eyes, they brim with it. I ask myself, were our eyes the same on that day?
Kill him. Kill him.
That voice. Why didn't you do it? Killing me would have saved your world.
I've forgotten all about that.
Forgotten about it?
I realized that we both share the same pain. Egil, I don't have any reason to kill you.
What?
Jin! Hyra! Rex!
Mithra. You.
Don't get me wrong, okay? I couldn't let him get your core too. That's all. With it, he'd be unstoppable.
Why? Why are you the ones who get to stand there together in this world, edge to bleeding edge, filled with sorrow?
You could try to move forwards again.
After so long.
It's what you both wanted, right? Well then, easy choice.